What's up, you guys? My name is Samira, and today we're going to do this bold purple look. And if you want to see how I did it, keep watching. Usually I prime my face first and do the foundation and concealer and all that good stuff, but because I know it's gonna be a very bold look with a lot of shimmer and there's gonna be a lot of fallout, I'm gonna do it a much easier way, which is to start with my brows and the eye look first and then move on to my skin afterwards. So I'm gonna start with my brows. I'm gonna use the Browtitude, which looks like this. I'm going to start at the end. I'm just going to follow the strokes of my own brow hairs. So the way I like to prime my eyes is with concealer and setting powder. I feel like the colors are much more vibrant and last a lot longer when I do this trick. So I'm gonna start with this concealer called the Concealer and Retoucher, which is a dual stick. This side is a stick and this side is liquid concealer. I'm gonna start with this side and later on move on to the stick side. I'm gonna put on a good amount. Now that I've blended out my concealer, I'm gonna put some translucent powder over it just to lock that concealer in, and I'm gonna use the translucent loose powder. Now that my eyes are primed, I'm gonna move on to eyeshadow, and I'm gonna use this palette called the Ultraviolet Palette. This palette was apparently inspired by the color of the year, which is also ultraviolet. And so it kind of matches that we're going for that purple look today. I'm gonna start by using this color right here. I'm gonna use this color as my transition. Remember to tap off the excess every time you apply eyeshadow to your brush. This will be much easier to blend out when there isn't too much product on your brush. We're just gonna put this in my crease. So this is a very bold look. This is mostly for something that if you're going to a fancy event or if you're going to a party that you want to go for this look. It may not be like an everyday look. I have experienced that purple is a very good color for green and brown-eyed people. It really makes their eyes pop. So if you do like the color purple, this would definitely be something to recommend. I'm gonna move on to the black shade right here to give some depth and a little bit of a bolder look to it. I'm gonna start at the ends of my lid and I wanna slowly build it up. So I really like that this particular black eyeshadow isn't that pigmented. It's very much like you can blend it out easily. It's not so pigmented that it looks like exactly black. You can blend it out without it looking too intense. Now that I've blended out the black shadow, I'm gonna move on to the shimmer, which is the most exciting part. I'm going to use the Prime and Fix spray. I'm going to spray the brush with it just to enhance the shimmer in the shadow. And I'm going to start with this shimmer right here. I'm going to start at the beginning of my lid and work my way in. But honestly, can you guys see the amount of pigment coming off of this shadow? It's like BAM! So I'm not gonna bring the shadow till the end. I'm just gonna leave it here and then I'm gonna use a brush to blend it out. I'm gonna blend out the shimmer just so we don't have any hard edges. Now I'm gonna use this shade right here. I want to use this shade just to give it a little bit of a holographic look. I'm only gonna apply it in the middle and I'm gonna use my little finger to do so. I find it that with most shimmer shades, the finger works a lot better than a brush. And I'm gonna apply this in the middle, again, to give it that holographic look. Oh my god, this is so pretty! Guys, are you loving it as much as I am? Honestly, leave me a comment. I'm gonna move on to eyeliner, and this eyeliner is called the Line Story Eyeliner Pen, which looks like this. The way I like to do my eyeliner is I feel like it's so much easier if you pull your eyes a little bit just to give you a flat surface if you have wrinkles. I'm gonna start at the end and slowly go inwards. I'm gonna pull the ends of my eyes to give me a flat surface. And then I'm gonna draw and follow the lines of my own eyes. Now that I've done my eyeliner, I'm gonna use this holographic eyeliner top coat, which looks like this. And I'm gonna give it that extra holographic look with this eyeliner. I'm gonna apply it on the black liner. Oh my god, can you guys see this? Now that I'm done with the other eye, I'm gonna move on to my skin because it's so much easier to do my under eye when I've already set my skin with foundation and a concealer and all that good stuff. I'm going to prime my face with the Pore and Line Minimizer. Looks like this. And I'm going to use this because I do have a oily T-zone and I do have pores in this area that I want to fill with this primer. And I'm gonna push the product in rather than swirling it around. Now that I've primed my face, I'm gonna move on to foundation, and this time I'm going to use the long-lasting foundation. This is a Velvet Matte Foundation, which looks like this. And if you remember the last video, I used a very, very light foundation because I wanted that natural look. This time I'm gonna use a full coverage foundation, which I love. So I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand and work it into my skin from the jawline. I'm gonna use the same concealer as I used before, the Dual Cover, which looks like this. And I'm gonna use the liquid side first and then the stick side to cover pimples. And I'm gonna start under my eye. A little bit here under my lips to define my lips a little bit more. And also to cover freckles. I'm gonna use the other side to cover impurities. So I've put a little bit of concealer on my nose, and the reason why is that I do have an oily T-zone, which makes it a lot easier for the foundation to come off just by touch. That's why I'm putting a little bit of concealer on top of it, just to give it that extra what it needs to stay in place. Now I'm gonna set my face with the same translucent powder that I used before. The reason I have a lot of powder under my eyes is because I'm gonna do the under eye area with some shadow, and I don't really want any fallout to ruin the foundation and the concealer. I'm gonna use the same palette as before, and I'm gonna use this shade right here. And I'm gonna try to smoke out my under eye area. And I'm gonna use a little bit of the black shadow to give it a little bit more intensity. And I'm gonna use the same purple shimmer shadow under my eyes, but I'm gonna stick to the beginning and the tear duct area. I'm gonna use a big brush to brush out the excess, and I'm gonna use a little bit of translucent powder over it, just to make sure that everything just completely wipes away. This is what your shirt looks like when you use too much makeup. So as you can see, I've pulled my hair up because I'm ready to contour. I love contouring. It's one of my favorite parts. I'm going to contour my face with the Contourious palette, which looks like this, and I'm going to use this color right here. So you hold the brush at the end, so you have less control and it gives you a more airbrushed contour, which is what I'm going for. You start at your hairline. So the reason I like contouring so much is because if you don't have like a defined jawline or defined cheekbones, you can create it without like doing anything permanent to your face, which is my favorite thing, that you can alter so much just with makeup and give yourself a more defined cheekbone or contour your nose to make your nose look smaller. I just love that you can change so much without it being so permanent. You can just wash it off and then you have your face back or whatever. I really appreciate that. And just like in general with makeup, the way that you can enhance, I will say enhance, because I know that you can change your face completely with makeup, but most people use it to enhance their own beauty, I feel like. And I really like that. I like the way makeup makes a lot of people feel more confident about themselves. I'm gonna contour my nose with this fluffy brush right here. I'm just following the lines of my own nose. I don't really want to make it smaller, just a little bit more defined. Now I'm gonna move on to highlighter, which is one of my other favorite parts of doing makeup. And in today's occasion, I'm gonna use the Love Illusion Holographic Highlighter Palette, which looks like this. I'm gonna use the Peach Prism to highlight. I'm gonna use my finger to get a much more like bam effect, like really pigmented effect. And if you notice, I'm always using products, I'm always dabbing. I'm not pressing, I'm not swirling, I'm dabbing. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do with this highlighter as well. And I'm gonna use the tiniest amount of highlighter on my little finger to put in my tear duct. Now I'm gonna use a blush called the Blushment, and it looks like this. I feel like the colors are so mesmerizing in this. And if you saw my last video, you know what I do when I do blush. You do a fake smile. Now to pull the entire look together, I'm gonna use a lip liner and a lip gloss. And the lip liner I'm using is called the Lip Affair Svenja. And I'm gonna line my lips out. I tend to do a little bit above where my lips are just to make it look a little bit more plump. To pull the entire look together, I'm gonna smack on some lip gloss, and this one is the Lovelicious Pink Nude Lip Gloss. Now to set the face, I'm gonna use the 3-in-1 Prime and Fix spray. So this spray is perfect if you have done maybe a little too much powder, a little too much foundation, or just in general, it makes your skin glow and it makes your skin look a lot more natural. So you're gonna shake it a little bit and you're gonna wet your face with it. Now, because I am a little bit extra, I'm gonna use a second spray. This spray is for my skin to stay matte and for it to last a lot longer. I'm gonna apply it the exact same way and be quick to dry it up. I'm using the 3-in-1 Matte and Fix Spray. To finish the look, I'm gonna use a mascara, and this is the Illusion Eyes Mascara, which looks like this. So what I like to do with mascaras when I wanna rate them is compare them to the other eye, which has not any mascara on. And honestly, look at this difference. Honestly, I am so obsessed with this purple look, and it just makes my green eyes pop, which I really love. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Love's channel, and hit that bell button so you don't miss any of our videos, which is every week, by the way. And I just want to say, if you want to follow me on my social media or Love's social media, they will all be linked down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!